real quick. Game review here. Okay, cool. Boom. Cyber Shadow. This game is amazing. How do I start? Let me give you just kind of like a rundown of what the game is like. Uh, it is on the surface, you would think it's like a Ninja Gaiden style game.
Mhm.
Definitely like what I thought it was going into it, but it's a whole lot more. In fact, I would actually venture to say this game is closer to a Mega Man game, uh, like Mega Man Zero, let's say,
Yes,
than
it's yeah.
a Ninja Gaiden game.
Yeah.
Very clearly inspired by both, but the more you play it, the more you really feel those kind of Mega Man inspirations. It's not quite a bullet hell, but it definitely gets incredibly hard towards the end.
Yeah.
But all around, I think that the balance of the game is pretty good. When I first started the game, I was really worried that the upgrades and such that you would get would kind of make the game too easy. But it doesn't. It
That's good.
the kind of power level, the difficulty scales really well as you go on. So even though you become incredibly powerful, you also have to deal with incredibly difficult obstacles. So I think they balance that out really well in the game. But weird. Anyway, let's move on. So the Cyber Shadow is the title. It was developed by Arn, Mecha Skull, Hunziker.
Is this just a one guy game also?
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think it's a one guy game because
You
when
don't
you
think-
see the
well-
credits at the end, there's more than one guy.
Okay.
There's also
Well-
more. I don't know that information's correct because there's more people that worked on this game. It released on January 26th, 2021. That was this year, just like last Friday it came out.
Yeah, it was
I wanna
like a
say.
week ago.
Yeah. I played it on PC, but I own it on Switch as well. I played it on PC because I could play it for free because it's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, you've got the game for free. But
Literally
it's
just installed it.
yeah, it's on everything though. You can get it on PlayStation, you can get it on Xbox, you can get it on PC. And it's very good. The game is $20. If you pre-ordered it, it was $15 though, and that's why I have it on the Switch, is because I pre-ordered it on the Switch.
Nice.
But I figured it'd be nice to have it both, and since I could get it free on
This is one I'll
PC.
probably revisit also. Like I'm
Yeah.
liking it a lot so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very much
It
so.
looks like I'll play this one about as frequently as I play Zero, which is
Yeah.
quite a lot. So
Yeah, it's so good. So just a quick synopsis of the game. You are a cyber ninja. You're some ninja dude that like shit happened, you died and you got resurrected in like in a robot form. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. As you play through the game, you get here I'm gonna skip forward in the gameplay because I was doing a bunch of like sit-ups and stuff there.
oh yeah, that's right.
This
Chat
is
went
from my
bananas.
stream. Yeah, so like as you play through the game, you discover more of what's going on. Like it's very much, and this is another reason why I would compare it to a Mega Man game, is because the story is very like Dr. Wily created these things and so on and so forth, right? I'm not going to get too into it. It actually has a pretty good story. And what I found out when I was like looking up some information on it the other day, they only included 25% of the lore
Oh wow.
that was in this game. They only included 25% of the lore.
So
and there's
the rest
tons
of it
of
just ended
lore
up on
in
the
the game.
cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there's tons of lore in this game, I'm telling you. So it's pretty cool. It's not the deepest story, but like if you look into all the lore, it's pretty cool. It's a lot of like conversations and things with the different characters in the game.
Sure.
Which is very cool. What did I like about the game? It plays incredibly well. It is gorgeous. It's kind of right up my alley. I love Mega Man games. I love ninja games, and this kind of feels like both.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really good. What I didn't like, there's not much I didn't like, but if I was gonna say one thing, and I mentioned how well it controls, but there's a caveat to that, and that caveat is this game was clearly designed to play like a original Nintendo game.
Mhm.
It's got two buttons for controls, right? You've got a jump button and an attack button, and then your D-pad to move. Um, and so even though you unlock a whole bunch of different abilities, those end up becoming like button combinations that you have to use in order to execute those skills
Oh,
instead
I
of
love that.
having it like mapped to a certain button.
Yeah.
The only way around that I would imagine is you could probably set up like macros
Mhm.
on your controller or something like that, but to me it's not worth doing.
Right.
Once you get used to the abilities, it flows pretty well. But I will say this, I got stuck on well, a level and then a boss for a considerable amount of time yesterday, and because of the necessity to like do these weird combinations with the buttons, my thumb is numb. Like it's still numb today.
I've been there. Like
Yeah.
I've had games that have
And
done
it
that.
felt like bruised yesterday as I was playing.
And which controller were you using?
I was using an Xbox controller.
Okay.
Um
Oh boy.
I should have probably used like an 8-bit or something, like something with like, not that the Xbox controller has a bad D-pad, it's a fine D-pad, but I think
Yeah.
that it was just a little harsh on my thumb, and
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
using the
whatever.
PlayStation 4 controller,
Yeah.
and it works really well.
Yeah.
With the D-pad on that, because the D-pad on that is separate buttons,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which I really like.
Yeah, I
Uh,
probably should have done that. I do like the D-pad on the PS4.
yeah, I would echo like a lot of what you say about it. I think that the only like I'm very early also, but the only thing that I've run into that's been like kind of a sticking point for me a little bit is that um there's a bunch of special moves that use your special meter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when you unlock like the uppercut, it like shoots fire up in the air, and then there's like a stab down one
Mhm.
that lets out a little explosion. There's not a way to use those without using the special meter and making it the good version of the move.
Okay.
So like you deplete your energy really badly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, when you had mentioned that actually um in the Discord before we went live, and I was
Right,
like,
you can
well, you can
always-
still use the
Yeah, you
techniques.
can always still do it, but
Yeah.
like you're out of energy by the
Yeah,
time
you're right.
you
I
get
see
through
what
the
you're
stuff that-
saying. Okay, yeah, no, I actually agree with that. Like, if you could like make it so that it's not special, like
Yeah.
even though you have your special meter available to you,
Right.
then that would be cool. But here's the thing, like if you're watching the gameplay right now, the item that I have just continues to spit out special for you. And
Oh.
so what that allows you to do then is as long as you're playing perfectly and not getting hit, you basically will have unlimited special, which is pretty cool.
Sure.
So
Oh,
and
wow.
those items are available pretty frequently.
Yeah, I like the upgrade system for the most part. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind some of them as like pickups a little more often,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
That's the one thing. And like
Yeah.
from watching you, Paul, I didn't quite understand how the upgrade system worked.
yeah.
So I'm interested. I'm excited to find out.
Okay, well, I'll explain it to you.
Yeah, go
Basically,
for it.
as you progress, you unlock new skills from like certain areas, like certain meditations and stuff. Now, as
Oh,
far
okay.
as like your HP and your SP meters, there's essentially there's two ways you can upgrade those. Like your HP will upgrade at certain points of the game anyway.
Okay,
Um,
that's good.
Or you can find secret areas, and every time you find one of them, you'll get like one little orange orb.
It's like a third piece of heart,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so once you get 3 of those orbs, you will then, get more to your HP meter. And then the SP it acts the same, only it's just one blue orb. So
Oh, nice.
um,
Okay.
Mhm.
so yeah, and I don't think I found all the SP ones. There's a ton of secrets in this game. That's another thing that I
Yeah.
really like.
I did find the Ninja Turtles reference.
I saw the screenshot of that. It looks so
Which
good.
I was actually thinking this game plays a little bit like the first Ninja Turtles game too.
Oh yeah, actually a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and which a lot of people hate because it's so hard.
Mhm.
It is hard. That is
But
true.
like this is clearly a fusion of a bunch of games that this dev really liked.
Yeah,
it's
definitely. You
interesting
can
to
see
see-
that for sure as you play through. I would say the strongest influence though is Mega Man though,
Mhm.
as you play. What
It
were you gonna
does,
say,
yeah.
Zach?
Well, it's just interesting to see us coming off of my review of Jay and Silent Bob last week, which is also a fusion of a whole bunch of games that somebody liked very clearly, but done
Mhm.
very poorly, where Cyber Shadow is really good.
Yeah.
It's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Back.
So what else? Where are we? How was the art? The art's incredible. I'm a huge fan of pixel art, and they do
Yeah.
Me too.
an amazing job of like
It's gorgeous.
making
Yeah.
like really gorgeous 8-bit,
Well,
goodness.
so one of the things that I'm noticing watching this now is because I thought also that it was just 8-bit, but they do a thing that animation does.
Mhm.
Whereas they have 16-bit backgrounds, they have too many colors in the backgrounds.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But all of the foreground sprites are 8-bit sprites. So, like, if you look at Disney movies, old Disney movies, a lot of the time you'll notice that the characters are really flat and the backgrounds are like really densely painted,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so that they stand out like that. So I think that this was an intentional choice, and it makes your character and it makes the enemies really stand out from the background.
Yeah.
I think it's
I don't
amazing,
know that
really
the-
smart.
I don't know that the foreground bits or foreground sprites are strictly 8-bit color because
I don't think
especially
they
for
are
the end of
either,
colors
but
that are
I think
not
that's definitely the
8-bit palette.
inspiration. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But it definitely looks, it definitely looks that way. It looks
Mhm.
intentional.
It's close, if not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, like you can see in this level where I'm at, like it's clearly not 8-bit. But
Right.
Yeah, like that ninja dude that you were fighting toward the end and two rounding consistently before you died at the boss.
yeah,
He is definitely not 8-bit color.
right. But regardless, like it's very like it's meant to feel that way. It's meant to feel like a Nintendo game, and it very much does feel that way. And they do a
Yeah.
really good job of that. And I think blending those like techniques gives it a really unique touch that like even though you're playing a game that feels very retro, it
Mhm.
still also feels like a modern video game.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that
definitely.
I wanted to say that it looks like we thought Ninja Gaiden looked back in the day.
Mhm.
Like, like,
Yeah, but obviously way better because Ninja Gaiden kind of looks like ass, but
But when Ninja Gaiden
Yeah.
came out, it looked awesome.
yeah,
And,
absolutely,
and-
absolutely.
And so like this looks like we thought Ninja Gaiden was.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they pulled that off really well. The
Oh,
music's
absolutely.
really good. Again, kind of like that 8-bit goodness. What's
Yeah.
really cool, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but not really because it's just music related. When you beat the game, it starts in with the music that you've been hearing the entire game, and then like they kick in with like electric guitars and stuff, and it just
Yeah,
is
that's cool.
it's rad. It
It's
sounds
super
really
awesome.
good. So like that ending is nice. It's a very nice touch with the music. But yeah, it's great. Like they did a really good job of capturing that feel from your childhood,
Mhm.
with the music. Sound design, again, the same, like 8-bit sounds throughout the entire game for the most part. And it just really fits the setting.
You know what I
Um,
thought? Like as I was playing it, I was like, this sounds a lot like Batman the Animated Series on Game Boy.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
actually, yeah.
The
Which I
sound-
love. That's one
Yeah.
of my all-time favorite games. It's
the
the
sound
first
design of that
game.
is great.
Well, I guess technically the second game. It's the second game I ever owned on Game Boy, right? Like I got a Game Boy, it came with
Yeah.
Zelda, and I actually
remember.
wasn't allowed to like we got it right before we
First one.
moved to Kansas City from Denver.
And I got
And-
Speedy Gonzalez when you
Yeah,
wrote that.
and I picked up Batman the animated series
Uh-huh.
for it, and then like I wasn't even allowed to play the Game Boy or that game until we got on
Tour
the
on
road,
trip, yeah.
which was a bummer. But anyway, yeah, brings back memories.
Absolutely.
But yes, was the game difficult? Abso-freaking-lutely, the game was difficult. Like I said, I got stuck on a boss for a very long time yesterday. In fact, my plan was to finish up this game real quick and go right on to another game yesterday when
Yeah.
I was streaming, and I got stuck on this game for the entire rest of the day.
And hours, like you went long yesterday.
I did go long. I was playing for 6 hours yesterday. I was live. So yes, it's very difficult. It starts out pretty easy, but the difficulty ramps up considerably towards the end. Would I play a sequel? Hell yes, I would. It's really, really fun. And if they make it as good as this game was, like, hell yes, I would absolutely. I love games like this. Very worth it. How long did it take me to beat? 12 hours total was, I think, my runtime. I think you could beat this game a lot quicker, assuming you don't get stuck on the last, 2 screens like I did.
I'm betting speedrunners will do it in about an hour.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I don't know if you could, because the reason I say that is, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't think you could traverse all the screens in like even speed running. Maybe glitching.
I'm betting. I'm betting you will see sub 60 times.
Yeah.
But
I guess there is a sub 3 hour according to Chamali, and he beat it in 6 hours and 30 missions. Oh, there's an achievement. Gotcha. Okay.
So
if there's an achievement for sub 3 hours, I'm guessing that like the early speed runs will be around 3 hours, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that you could traverse all the different screens in under an hour. There's a lot.
Yeah, that just seems like a lot, but
yeah. But anyhow, it's a good game. Overall ratings and impressions. My rating for this would be, gosh, I don't know, man, a 9. For what it is, it's amazing. The only reason I wouldn't go higher than 9 is because of the difficulty, and not even the difficulty. The difficulty you kind of expect from games like this, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's really just the 2-button control thing that got me, which I understand why they did that. They were, trying to hit that kind of like period appropriate feeling with the controls. But I think to a degree it hinders the game, and that'd be my only real complaint about it. So that would be it. So I mean, still overall really, really high score on this one. I definitely, if you like retro style games at all, pick this game up. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you have Game Pass, there's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse.
It's worth noting that everybody on This Is Difficult currently got excited about this game. Yeah. And Adam. And I can't speak for 4Gs because I haven't talked to him in a while.
I've been telling Adam about this game for years. Like I've been like, hey man, keep an eye on this. Like this game's right up your alley, because you were like a huge fan of The Messenger, right?
Yes.
This game like felt very similar to The Messenger. I like this better than The Messenger, but I would imagine some people like The Messenger better.
We'll have to see. So far, I feel as though I had better control over my character in The Messenger.
And that's
we'll see how that progresses, but
sure.
By the end, I did feel like I had like true mastery over that.
Right, because they don't like lock you into 2 buttons in The Messenger either. So.
But like this game, Cyber Shadow just seems to fire on all cylinders for all of us, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's great. I like it.
Yeah, it's absolutely rad. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to mention about this game? Is it worth buying at the current full price? Absolutely. It's $20. I don't think that's too much to ask for a game of this quality.
No,
but you can also, like I said, if you have Game Pass, you already have it.
Which, if you have PC or Xbox, why do you not have Game Pass? It's the best gaming deal that there is. It's so good.
That's true. I
Just
agree
got
with
it
that
last
as well.
week.
Looks like
I have it. It's good. It's so good.
Looks like they have an hour 13-minute speed run. So right now is the record.
Oh my god, people are crazy, man.
Yeah.
Zach has question WRT
I do.
upgrades.
I had a question.
Let's hear
In the Mega Man Zero game, so we've equivocated Cyber Shadow to Mega Man Zero on a number of times here. One of the big decisions that you have to make, especially toward the end, is what tool. Like, you've been given this arsenal of tools. What tool do you choose to, most prominently in my mind, traverse the Neo Arcadia Tower? And for me, that's Z-Buster and Shield Boomerang.
Sure.
But I've seen plenty of people do it with just the Z-Saber. Is that the kind of decision that they have you make in Cyber Shadow as well? Is like, you have this arsenal of tools, pick X number of them.
So, no, kind of. Here's the thing. You don't, unlike this is where it differs from Mega Man. You don't have to only pick certain things to be using at a certain time.
Okay.
Like, as you unlock your upgrades, you just have them available to you always. Now, later in the game, there's definitely two techniques in particular that are absolutely 100% essential to master. Those two techniques are the dash attack and the stab, the aerial attack, the down stab. You have to learn how to use those moves 100%. Otherwise, you're going to fail this game like I did for hours. Like, you absolutely have to know those techniques.
Noted.
Yeah, but you do have access to every technique as you earn them.
Nice.
So
yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just because
cool.
of those button combinations. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up. Do you guys have anything else you want to share about the game, or any final thoughts or questions?
No,
I
just
can't
looking
wait to
forward
play
to
this.
playing it more. Like,
Yeah.
I played it for probably about an hour or so. I beat a couple bosses earlier today, and I love it so far. I also felt like the bosses that I did beat were really rewarding.
Yes.
Like, every boss I've met so far, I died the first time, and then, but in doing so, I'm like, okay, I see where I need to be, And then I think the first boss I beat on the third try, the second boss I beat on the second try, like that tank thing, that you have to destroy the pieces of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no complaints so far. I like it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.